What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you on Sunday morning, October the 6th. And it's time to recap the picks against the spread from yesterday. Just eyeballing the picks so far. It looks like we had a better week than last week. We'll see how that bears out throughout the course of this. Trying to get that record back to at least 500. 59, 72, and 3. Right now against the spread. That's through week 5, and this should be I would guess the right past the halfway point, or right before the halfway point of the season. I think after this week's complete, it would be considered the midway point of the season. Anyway, no reason I can't go 13 games over 500 the last half of the season. So let's get going on it. Iowa at Michigan. Picked Iowa to cover the spread there. Now, that was an incorrect pick. Michigan won that game 10-3. Iowa just not able to move the ball and not able to get it going there against sorry. I'll update something here so I can get all the scores up there. Just had top 25 teams for some reason. Okay, there we go. Just not able to get it going, and they lose 10-3. Had Maryland covering the spread against Rutgers. I did so in a big way with a 48-7 win on the road. LSU I had covering that number against Utah State, and they did. They win at 42-6 in the real Death Valley. No problems whatsoever. Penn State does not cover the 28.5 against Purdue. They won the game. It was 35-7. I talked about James Franklin and that he would run the score up on teams. But yesterday, that didn't happen. They only scored 7 points in the second half. So as soon as I say something, it doesn't happen. I didn't watch that game. So a lot of these today, I'll go back and watch highlights of the ones that interest me. I don't know how that bore out. Maybe Purdue's defense played well in the second half. I'm not sure. But the number wasn't covered. Oklahoma did not cover the spread against Kansas. They win, but it's 45-20. Game got delayed by lightning for a little while, I think. Place wasn't even full. It was like, I looked at the attendance. It was like 33,000 people there in a 50,000 seat stadium at Kansas to see them play the number 6 team in the country, which with the weather the way it was is understandable, but I guess that kind of contributed to it. Actually, Oklahoma, even though they got off to a slow start, led the game 42-7 in the fourth quarter, and allowed Kansas to get a backdoor cover there, a couple of scores in the fourth quarter in garbage time. Tulane at Army. Another incorrect pick here. I warned that Tulane. That's one I'm shooting myself in the foot over. I should have known a little better on that one, because I watched Tulane play a couple of games and they look really good. Oklahoma State doesn't cover the spread against Texas Tech either, so we're on a little bad streak here. Texas Tech with a 45-35 victory at home over the number 21 Cowboys, so they'll definitely drop out of the top 25 no sooner than they got into the thing. Iowa State does cover against TCU. Big time 49-24 win. They put a lot of points on the board there. Boston College at Louisville. Louisville did win the game. Did not cover the spread of 5, though. It's 41-39. Kind of back and forth. A lot of points scored there. Baylor and Kansas State. Baylor won, 31-12. So didn't cover the number there. That's a big win for Baylor on the road. Virginia Tech does cover the number against Miami. They won that game 42-35. I thought something like that might happen. Miami's not very good. But they did come back in the second half, though. This game was like 28-7 at one point. Texas does cover the number against West Virginia with a 42-31 victory. Very disappointing here. Auburn does not cover or win the game against Florida. Got to give the Florida Gators credit. Good game plan. Auburn just not able to do anything. They could move the ball from 20-yard line to 20-yard line, but they couldn't do anything inside the red zone. And Florida comes away with a victory there in a very important game. They are now 6-0, and they'll head to Baton Rouge, I believe it is, next week, take on LSU. That should be a good one. All right, Air Force on the road at Navy. Another one, very disappointed here. Air Force doesn't cover that number. They allowed Navy to score with just inside a minute to play and grab the lead. And then on the ensuing possession, I think they fumbled on the last play of the game, and Navy scooped it up and ran it in for another 6, so they won 34-25. So they had an 11-point victory, which came literally 30 seconds after Air Force was leading the football game. Disappointed in that one. Minnesota does cover the number against Illinois. They win 40-17. UNC covers the number against Georgia Tech, 38-22 victory. Congrats to Georgia Tech for putting up 22 points. Troy doesn't cover against Missouri, 42-10. Missouri, boy, I'm telling you what, they are legitimate. They are legit. Northwestern at Nebraska. Northwestern covers the number. Nebraska won. It was 13-10. Arizona, Colorado. Kind of disappointing there in the Colorado Buffaloes. They drop a game at home to Arizona, 35-30, not covering that number after winning on the road at Arizona State either last week or the week before. So that's kind of disappointing. UGA at Tennessee. UGA does cover the number, and it won that game 43-14. Backdoor cover. Well, not a backdoor cover. Covered it within. They scored very close to the end of the game. I watched that one. It was a decent game for a while. You got to give it to Tennessee. They came to play, especially in the first half, but they couldn't sustain it. In the second half, just talent and depth took over, as it often does in these type of situations. When you're playing an elite team and you bust them in the mouth for a while. Kind of like South Carolina did with Alabama. They kept it close for a while. We busted them in the mouth. I don't think we ever actually really had the lead on them. I don't think. It's hard to remember. It's been almost a month ago. But at any rate, we played well, especially in the first half. But then the second half, talent and depth took over. That's exactly what happened here. Michigan State at Ohio State. Ohio State covers that number. They win that game 34-10. They just keep rolling. Only scored 34 points, though. So they're held below their average. But they do win and cover. Ole Miss with the easy cover and the easy win against Vanderbilt, 31-6. Vanderbilt really looks bad this year. They really do. Pitt and Duke. This one made me sick. This is a game that was in the Pick'em on Facebook that I refer to sometimes. And I had Duke winning that one also. They were trailing, 26-3, I think it was. Come all the way back, take a lead, and then Pitt scores at the very end to end up winning that game. So, not a cover on that one. Here's one we do cover on. Cal at Oregon. Shout out to Marcus Mariota. Not the real Marcus. Well, actually is the real Marcus Mariota. He comments on Facebook or on my YouTube channel here. He's been a long time subscriber. He also has a channel. And he told me that I should go poke my eyes out, for lack of better terms, for circling Cal on that paper. Mr. Mariota, sorry, sir, you're wrong. Cal covers the spread, 17-7. Oregon wins. UTSA at UTEP. Go Roadrunners, 26-16. The big win over UTEP. Told you, I called it because they dominated their FCS opponent, Incarnate Word. UTEP didn't dominate their FCS opponent, Houston Baptist. It was the only thing that I could find to discern between the two teams. So, yay me. Got a good pick there. Oregon State, UCLA. Oregon State covers the spread there, wins the game, 48-31. I had told you that I thought that this could be their Pac-12 victory, their first one of the season at any rate, and they do just that. Washington at Stanford. You talk about disappointing. 23-13. Stanford wins at home against Washington. Washington drops another one, so they're effectively not winning the Pac-12 North now. It's Oregon solely in the driver's seat now. They're undefeated in Pac-12 play. The only loss they have is that one at the beginning of the season to Auburn, which looked like a really good loss before the game. It would look like an even better loss if Auburn had been able to take care of business against Florida, but they couldn't. So it's interesting to see where that will leave them. But at this point, Oregon's 4-1 on the season. They're undefeated in Pac-12 play and in the driver's seat to win that north side. And the final game of the season, or the final game of the season, final game of the evening, UNLV, Boise State. This is a correct pick. Boise State does cover against UNLV, 38-13 win. Watched some of that. Ain't gonna lie to you, didn't watch it all because I was snoozing well before that one was over with, but did get the correct pick on that game. All right, so let's see how we're doing so far year to date. As said, we were, let me get in focus here, 59-72-3, and see how week number 6 shook up. So 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, 3-6, 3-7, 3-8, 4-8, 5-8, 5-9, 5-10, 6-10, 7-10, 7-11, 8-11, 8-12, 9-12, 10-12, 11-12, 11-13, 12-13, 13-13, 14-13, 14-14, 15-14. Right? Guys, not sure where the 29 games came into play there, but in effect, Carolina Jackpot finished up Week 6 with a record of 15-13 against the spread. Pretty good. So that brings it to 74, 85, and 3 now for the year-to-date, inching closer to the 500 mark. Some pretty good picks towards the end of the night there with the nightcap type games, the Pac-12 type stuff. So still need to do a little bit better during the middle of the day. Had a few there that boogered me up, and a couple there at the beginning of the day that I kind of got messed up on as well. But you'll have that. You'll have some upsets and some things not to go your way. But all in all, a good week, finishing over 500. Who were the big winners yesterday? Of course, Ohio State continues to roll. Ranked number 4 in the country. They win 34-10 with relative ease. Same thing with Georgia, number 3 ranked team in the country, wins 43-14. Not much of a problem after the halfway point in that game. LSU continues to look good. They are now undefeated as still remaining on the season. They're, what are they, 6-0? Or are they 5-0? They're 5-0. They'll be taking on the Florida Gators, 6-0, in the Real Death Valley next weekend. That's going to be a huge matchup in the SEC. Somebody's not going to be, another undefeated will fall this coming week, and I don't know. I just don't know about that one. That will be fun to watch. I believe that game comes on at 8 p.m. That's an 8 p.m. game over on ESPN next weekend. Who else? Who's a big loser? Who's a big loser yesterday? Washington. Washington, you got to count them as a big loser yesterday, effectively ending their chances of winning the Pac-12 North. Oregon, it's theirs for the taking now, pretty much. They have 2 losses inside the division. Let's see, Duke had been playing good football, kind of got stymied a little bit last night. Pittsburgh's a sneaky good team this year, and they're 4-2 right now. Oregon continues, they're 4-1. Kind of struggled last night a little bit, but still got the win. Missouri, after starting out 0-1, they're 4-1 now in the season. Minnesota's now 5-0. They won 40-17 against Illinois. Will that be enough to get them into the top 25? Probably so. Oklahoma State lost, so they're going to drop out. Maybe Minnesota will move in there now. Texas continues to play well. They're 4-1 now. Notre Dame continues to destroy people. They're 44-1, 52-0 win over Bowling Green yesterday. Who have they played? Louisville gets a win at home. They have eclipsed their win total from last year already through week number 6. So good job there. Oklahoma continues to roll after a slow start. They take care of business against Kansas. They're 5-0, 45-20 win. Same thing with Penn State, 35-7 over Purdue. Good win there for those guys. They're ranked number 12. Probably move up a little bit as well. Michigan will probably move up also after just a brilliant defensive performance against Iowa and a 10-3 win over the number 14 ranked Hawkeyes, and Maryland with a good bounce back win, 48-7 over Rutgers. I like to see that happen. You gotta, Mike Loxley kind of put in a tough spot there, having to clean up a mess, and they're playing good football now. They blew out Rutgers on the road yesterday, get another win over in the Big Ten. So congratulations to them. Oh, Wisconsin, by the way, they beat up on Kent State, 48-0. They played. They're 5-0 as well. All right, guys, that's my big winners and losers from week number 6, and I will see y'all next week at some point in time. We'll definitely get those picks out earlier than we did last week. This week, it was hard to get them out on time this week, but it really hurt me on my views against the other videos that I've done, similar genre. Some of them 4,000 or 5,000 views. This one's barely going to hit 1,000 that I did because of the fact that it was out so late. I didn't get it out till Friday evening, so that won't happen again. I will see y'all later. If you enjoyed the content here, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you're not already. I'm sure you'll love the college football content we probably share on Carolina Jackpot. If you didn't enjoy it, if you think that this is just the opinion of a casual football fan who really doesn't know what he's talking about, and I bet you he can't tell you the difference between a cover 2 and a cover 4, and he can't tell you what in the world a will or a sound linebacker does, then please hit the thumbs down button because he's an idiot. All right, guys, I will see y'all later. Poosh, and I'm out. Go Gamecocks.